Hey YouTubers, it's just a quick blog post. Well, maybe not quick, it might actually last a full 10 minutes. But I'm going to talk about the recent Apple iPhone 4 conference that they had. I'm honestly very disappointed in Steve Jobs. The entire time, avoiding any question that there was a problem. I mean, he did acknowledge there was it. He didn't even acknowledge that it was a problem. I mean, he kept divvying off to other companies and saying, oh, well, they have an issue too. If you hold any phone a certain way. Yes, we all understand that there is a slight drop in signal, usually 1 or 2 bars, at the very most, the worst of days, but it's not going to affect from the 5th bar to the 1st bar. It's not going to drop 4 bars on you. Making a good point, it was the algorithm the first time. Well, the algorithm was wrong, but it still doesn't change the problem of the reception. Now, I was very pissed that he attacked other companies, such as RAM, the makers of BlackBerry, and Samsung. Granted, Samsung doesn't make the best of phones, but at least they try, and as for RIM, they make excellent phones. I mean, the BlackBerry series is great. I enjoy it, but I wouldn't use it as an everyday driver, just because I'm not a business person. They are geared towards business people, which is good. I mean, it does what you need it to do, period. Personally, I think Android is, at this point, one of the better platforms, if not the best, just because it's open source. You can fiddle around with it all you want, and you're not going to get in trouble. Whether or not it works on certain phones is a different story. Easiest way to do it is be a developer and have a developer phone. But that's besides the point. I do like the response from RAM, or RIM. I'll just call it RIM. It was very dignified, I have to say. It didn't sound angry, but man, it was kind of witty, and it threw it right back in Apple's face. I'm not even Apple, Steve Jobs. I honestly feel bad for the workers at Apple, because they have to deal with the arrogance, just the utter arrogance of Steve Jobs. It's amazing that it just looks like, I can't even imagine what's going through his head. He must think he's God, because he has one of the bigger computer empires. Oh, I'm sorry, Windows is still the higher platform. I don't care what you say. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but in the end, Linux will rule all. No, not really. I don't care. Linux is a fun toy, but until they can get really serious and enough developers in there, like professional developers, it's not going to take too far off. Although I do have to say, the latest Ubuntu, Fedora, and Knoppix and GNOME, all of them are looking great. I mean, it looks like a real computer. Matter of fact, if Windows 7 didn't come out, it would be my daily use. That's what I would use on a daily basis rather than Windows, because Vista was just terrible. But that's besides the point. My main issue is, that Steve has issued free bumper cases, and anyone who purchased a bumper case will get a full refund, but need to keep the bumper case. Now, this is his solution to the problem. Well, that's fine and dandy, yes, it does fix the problem, but while you don't acknowledge the problem, it's just going to get worse, because I'm pretty sure, because it's out there, a lot of people say that they don't have the issue. Now, my personal theory is it depends on where you live. If you live in a more moist area, your skin's going to be a little bit more moist in your hands. Mine is usually dry because I work with my hands all day. I don't really use lotion. But the issue is on the bottom left corner of the phone, there's a little line. It separates the two halves of the... there's also one on the other top right, I think. It separates the two halves of the antenna. Now, when your palm goes over it, matter of fact, let's get my G1 as an example. When your palm goes over it to grip it, right here, you're bridging the two connections. Which is, you know, how you'd normally hold a phone. I hold mine like this, or sometimes up here. I mean, I probably wouldn't have that problem with the iPhone 4, but the issue is it is a problem, and Steve refuses to admit it, which is very frustrating. Now, I'm not an engineer in any case, any sense of the word, but in my opinion, I would have probably put a clear coat of plastic / silicone, something over the metal bezel. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of phones like this are made out of plastic. You know, it's durable. In here is made of metal, but it's durable. And I have full bars. Well, you can't really see it. My screen brightness is too high. Mine has full bars where I'm sitting. Now, he is right. A lot of smartphones, if not all of them, will have a slight signal drop when you hold it the right way, or the wrong way. All phones do technically have a death grip, unless the whole thing's encased in plastic. Now, turn my brightness down. So you got full bars, and no matter where I hold it, I'll bridge the entire bottom here. My hand's like this. Bars just don't go away. Block the top here without blocking the screen. I don't see any bars going away. And I did do this for probably an hour yesterday after watching the conference. I didn't find a problem. I tried it with my friend's Droid. Didn't have a problem. I think the main thing at this point is that Apple needs to start thinking about function over form and aesthetics, because it may look pretty, but if you tie a bow around shit, it still smells like shit. I mean, there's nothing else to really say about it. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I used to love Apple. I mean, when the Apple Classic came out, Classic 2, then they started going through the OSs, I was a massive fan of OS 9, and then 10 came out and I went insane. But the computers seemed to get way more expensive and then closed off, and eventually it was illegal to do it. Like, in the user agreement, if you read, by law, they can sue you if you modify their software, or if you modify their hardware, or if you put their software on non-approved hardware. It's ridiculous. I mean, a company that used to be about, I mean, if you really look into it, there's a great documentary on Netflix about it, that they originally, Apple, they wanted people to mess with their hardware, they wanted them to develop, they wanted them to just explore, and now they don't. It's all about the aesthetics. It's like, oh, you can't do anything with it, but it's pretty. Yeah, Photoshop, I mean, you got all kinds of things on there, you got all kinds of great programs, I'm not going to deny that, but the principle of it all is screwed up. Thanks for watching.